You're on an emotional hamster wheel, my dear, not in a relationship. Hello and welcome to iDIVAS. For those of you who don't know, I'm Tricia and I'm passionate about inspiring women to not just hang in there, but to thrive. Ladies, we've all heard it before. He's been through a lot, or he's got issues he's still working on. Let's break down why this is a trap disguised as compassion, and why his trauma, whether it be a bad past relationship, societal pressure to man up, or childhood abuse, is not and never will be your problem. If this title alone makes you feel an ounce of guilt, take a breath and stay with me. This conversation is about reclaiming your emotional energy and setting a boundary that even the most damaged man needs to respect. So let's get started. First things first, don't be a fixer. For far too long, women have been conditioned to believe that nurturing equates to saving. It's sad how, many well-intentioned women convince themselves, if I can just help him through this, he'll become the loving man I know he can be. But stepping into the fixer role only drains you and reinforces his reliance on other people to carry the weight of his emotional burdens. Trauma is undeniably real and affects people in complex ways. While empathy is important, there's a delicate balance between understanding a man's pain and assuming responsibility for it. If his past constantly serves as an excuse for why he can't show up for you in a meaningful way, it's time to stop justifying it for him. Ask yourself, how much of my energy am I sacrificing for someone else's unhealed wounds? Compassion is a beautiful trait, but it doesn't mean sacrificing your well-being for a man's unresolved issues. There's a difference between offering support and stepping into the role of an unpaid therapist. Compassion without codependency is possible. When his trauma, however, starts overshadowing your own needs, that's not a relationship. You are being used as an emotional crutch, and you didn't sign up to be his therapist or emotional support pet. Codependency has a sneaky way of whispering in your ear that sticking it out is what any good, normal woman would do. But the reality is, it's self-neglect. Empowered women know that supporting a man through his challenges does not mean subjecting themselves to his drama and trauma. You can acknowledge his trauma while still holding him accountable for how he behaves and treats you. That said, let's talk about the high cost of emotional labor. It's what happens when you're the one doing all the heavy emotional lifting in the relationship, becoming the crisis manager, cheerleader, and emotional sponge all rolled up into one. And what do you get in return? Often it's exhaustion, feeling underappreciated, and questioning your own value. Yes, most women are naturally nurturing, and these guys know that. But you don't have an infinite reservoir of emotional energy. If you're spending more time managing his issues than enjoying the relationship, it's a clear sign that your emotional labor is nosediving into the territory of self-sacrifice. Ladies, you can't pour from an empty cup. And if he's draining you dry, you're left with nothing for yourself. You know, one of the hardest things to accept is when your support has crossed the line into enabling. If you find yourself accepting unhealthy attitudes and behaviors because of his past trauma, you're allowing him to stay stuck. And that's not going to help either of you. He's only going to get progressively worse. On the other hand, supporting him might mean encouraging him to seek help and acknowledging when he makes noticeable efforts to change. What most people don't know is that therapy deepens self-awareness and empathy, boosting stronger, more supportive relationships and leadership skills. Just look at men like Charlemagne the God, Howard Stern, Prince Harry, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jay-Z, and Trevor Noah, and the list goes on and on and on. These guys took a seat on the therapy couch, tackled their trauma, and came out not just emotionally dialed in to their partners, but also better fathers, friends, and leaders. But if you're constantly excusing his low effort behavior, you're on an emotional hamster wheel, my dear, not in a relationship. Enabling keeps both of you locked in a cycle that goes absolutely nowhere. Are you being his partner, or are you becoming his emotional safety net? Remember, you deserve to be in a healthy relationship where your needs are met, not always secondary to his issues. Your own well-being matters. If the dynamic between you feels one-sided and your needs always take a back seat, that's a flashing neon sign that it's time to reassess. Your well-being is just as important as his, and protecting it isn't selfish or make you the B word. It's necessary. You need to set boundaries. Doing so doesn't make you cold or uncaring. It makes you a wise, self-respecting woman. State your needs clearly. Men are not mind readers. Be upfront about what you need from the relationship. If he truly values you and is committed to making the relationship work, trust me, he'll take what you're saying very seriously. Don't be the fixer. Again, encourage him to seek professional help. This shows you're there for him, but not at the cost of your own mental health. Hell no. And watch for genuine effort. Is he taking steps to heal and grow, or is he just flapping his lips? Don't get used, take notes. Actions speak louder than words, and a man committed to change will show it. If he's not showing genuine effort, it's time to question his intentions. Manipulation wrapped in vulnerability is still manipulation. If he's using his trauma as a perpetual get out of jail free card, it's time to reassess your position. Trauma can explain certain behaviors, but it doesn't justify them. Ladies, it's not your job to fix a man's trauma. Stay in your lane. Your role is to be supportive, not sacrificial. The moment you detach your self-worth from how much emotional pain you're willing to endure for someone, you free yourself from emotional chains. So the next time a man tries to justify low effort or toxic behavior by pointing to and blaming his past, don't just nod and accept it. Should you acknowledge it? Yes. Should you be empathetic? Absolutely. But remember, his trauma is not your problem. And that, my dear, is how you keep your standards high and your emotional energy and sanity intact. How much more peaceful would your life be if you raised your standards? Comment below. That's it. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.